Wait, first off, let me let y'all read my shirt because I got a lot of them. Might as well let somebody see them since I don't go anywhere. Y'all, it's been a rough couple of weeks. Hey, I just wanted to come on and say congrats to the grads. I see everybody popping on Instagram with their graduation pictures, doing it big. Bought those red bottoms just to stunt. You're gonna miss that money in a couple months. I'm just kidding. But really, I just want to say congrats. If you're thinking about applying to PT school and you just graduated, I just wanted to be the first to tell you, you're too late. So with July coming around, that's usually when most applications opening up. So if you're just graduating, it's nothing wrong with taking a gap year. I did want to say to anybody that is going into their senior year, it is time to start applying and looking at those applications, what those deadlines look at, getting some observation hours in. And even if you did just graduate and you want to work a little while, I would definitely recommend that because it is expensive, very expensive. Depending on where you go, it can be up to like 70, I don't even know, because I was about to say 70,000, but I don't even know because I'm not paying that much. Those are like the private schools. If you went to like Sanford, Howard, I tried to stick a little local, save a little coin, go to Alabama State, go Hornets. Working isn't a bad thing if you wanted to go ahead and graduate, work a little while, but the application season is July to October. And, well, depending on the school you're looking at. Go to PTCast. They'll tell you everything. I also want to give some encouragement to everybody that's graduating because I know I'm one of those people that when I was in school, I was looking at everybody graduating like, ooh, you popping. Like, look at those trips they taking. I know they're making money. And then when I graduated, that wasn't me. But I made it look like it was me, of course. I was working at a call center when I first graduated. And it literally was a point where I was working like every single day, and I looked up, it was a month, and I had no days off. And then took some vacations with my friends, and everybody thought I was popping. I was like, I wish I was popping like y'all thought I was for my Instagram. But don't stress on that. Like, if you just graduated, don't think like, I have to be at this place in my life. They're getting engaged, they're getting married, they just bought a puppy. Like, get a puppy if you want, if you're lonely, but you don't have to like be in a certain place in your life, have a house and everything. Just do whatever works for you. So I just want to give that encouragement. Like, everybody goes through that little transitionary period, and I swear when I was getting ready to graduate, I hadn't even graduated yet. It was like 5 months before I graduated, and I was sitting here like, I'm having a midlife crisis. Yes, I said midlife crisis because it took me 3 months or so and some research to figure out that it's a word called for what I was going through. It's called a quarter life crisis. That's when you are going through your whole, I actually even called it an identity crisis because I didn't even know what word to put on it. But quarter life crisis is the type thing you go through when you're kind of graduating college. Like, there's no set path for you to go through. Like, when you graduate high school, it's like military, get a job, go to college. You graduate college, it's like, all right, find a job and get a life. But if you don't have any job offers and don't really have a life, it's like you're doing something wrong and you start to freak out. That was completely me. So after I graduated college, before I had even figured out I had gotten into PT school, I was literally like, okay, so it didn't seem like I'm going to need a PT school because it's already been 2 months since I sent an application and I haven't heard anything. So let's figure out what I'm going to do instead. So I got a job, moved back home, and I was applying to different programs because I was like, I'm not working at a call center for like a couple months. So I was looking at master's programs online. I was like, well, OT and PT are kind of the same. What's wrong with me doing OT? So I was looking at OT too since I had a lot of those prerequisites. I was like, nursing, just because my college I went to, South Alabama, they have an accelerated nursing program that I could have got another bachelor's in a year. But I was like, just looking for something new because props to nurses and all, but that's not me. So I was looking at those 3 things. Then I was looking at being an ultrasound person, those, they make pretty good money. I was looking at PTA school because I could have gotten an associate's degree for that in a year and been doing kind of the same thing. I had even bought a pharmaceutical sales training manual because I was like, I will not fail. So basically, that's about 5-6 things. I was literally going from one thing to the next because I was like, I have to do something. But the thing is, I was just worried about succeeding and not following God's plan for me because I had already started to doubt. Literally is nothing but God, the fact that I ended up in the PT program at Alabama State. Because a quick story about how I applied is I was so jaded, ready to graduate. I spent months preparing my stuff. From July to October, I spent the time getting my application together. So by the time I said in October, I was just like, yo, I'm over it. Let me just send this application in and be done with and go ahead and graduate because I am tired. Sending my application, February rolls around and I get a call from South Alabama, one of the schools I applied to, and finally realized, like, I didn't send in everything for my application. I was like, well, that was a waste of time. So here I am crying because I forgot to send in my GRE scores. And I'm like, nobody can accept me. I'm not going to PT school. What am I going to do with my life? I finally heard back from Alabama State, and they actually accepted me into the program. And by how the odds may have it, I didn't send in my GRE scores to PT CAS like I needed to. So that's one tip. If you're going to apply to PT school, make sure you check everything. Go through your checklist like you're supposed to, and don't just like be like, forget it like I did. But anyway, so the only reason Alabama State was able to accept me is because when I took my GRE score, I sent my score to the school because I knew I wanted to go there. That was all God. Like, let's give it up to God because I had my whole plan I was trying to go by and come up with a new one. And he said, no, I got you. Like, this is your passion. This is what I have for you. I have something in store for you. So I'm a firm believer that I am personally walking in my passion. Because aside from me getting into PT school, it's no other reason, like, I'm still here. With spring semester, let's see, I'm taking 7 classes, 18 hours. Spring semester came around, midterms, I had 5 C's. And we'll get into, like, how the requirements are to stay in a PT school, but 5 C's isn't it. And I had them. So finally, we just finished the semester a couple weeks ago, and one of my classes, I literally made the bare minimum of the grade that I needed to have a B in the class, but give it up to God again. I ended up with a 3.27. So I got all A's and B's, and the way the hours are set up, because it's not like all even across the board with the hours, I ended up with a 3.27 GPA, which is actually higher than my semester GPA last semester, even though I had more A's last semester. So, you know, there's people out here popping, making 4.0s and doing it easy in PT school, but that, again, that's not me. So I'm gonna be proud of my 3.27. I'm, you know, little brag right there. And yeah, so that's just to say, don't stress. Your plan's all gonna work out. Just make sure you're striving and working hard to your passion. And it may take a few more steps for some people. I literally interviewed dozens of people when I thought I wasn't gonna get into PT school. I'm like, well, you're a PT now. Like, what road did you take? How did you get here? Trying to make their road fit me, even though like that wasn't working. One of my coworkers I talked to, she actually taught for a few years, went back, and then became a PT. And that's just things that like made her a better PT. The fact that she was able to apply some of her teaching skills as an educator and made that carry over into teaching somebody how to do an exercise. Things that you're going through right now as a new graduate is really just gonna fine-tune your skills, move you closer to the bigger goal and the plan that God has for you and the passion that you're to pursue. So don't trip, don't stress on that. I have a tendency to ramble, and I think I did a little better this video. So if you cared, you know, like, watch another one, whatever. Since it's coming up on July and the application for PT CAS is open up, I will try and make a video about that if anybody's interested in knowing about the steps to go through to apply to school. Be working on your observation hours and network. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Congratulations to the grad. Yep, well, that's all I got. So, congrats again. Bye.